Parents, I wanted to record a video to show you the way in which we are understanding numbers this year, because I know that when I learned it, it was far from what I understood, and I want you to be able to support your child at home and know where we are aiming to go. So far we did math mountains, and a math mountain is 2 parts and a whole. So if I had 6 and my whole was 10, I know the other part is going to be 4. I will know that these numbers are always in relationship to each other. 6 and 4 are partners of 10. I can take 6 away from 10 and have 4. I can take 4 away from 10 and have 6. Or I can add them together to get 10 by going 6 and 4 is 10, or 4 and 6 is 10. This is a math mountain. The next big unit was understanding place value. And in doing that, we can separate our numbers by their digits. And each digit in a number is representing the place value of the number. So if I had 3 and 6, you would know that is 63, because I have 3 in the ones place and 6 in the tens place. The 6 represents 6 tens, and we draw those by going like that, just to stick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and my ones, 1, 2, 3. If I wanted to put hundreds, well, I can put a 2 in the hundreds place. And this does not represent 2, but it represents 2 hundreds. We can draw our hundreds like that. We can also break this up and expand. We call it expanded form. I could say 263 is, well, look here, 200. It's also 60, and it's 3. So I can break it up into 263. That's another way to write the number. So when I take all this information and I add, I bet I could just shrink this for you here. When I'm adding 2-digit numbers, I want your child to understand place value. And so if I had 43 plus 64, well, I have 2 options here to show that I understand place value. We're not so concerned with getting the answer quickly, but getting to the answer in a way that is building understanding of place value. That was the point of this unit, understanding place value. So to do that, in its simplest form, I can draw a picture of it. Well, I can draw my 4 10 sticks, which is 40 in expanded form. And I can draw my 3 ones, which is 30. Which is 3 in expanded form. I can draw 6 tens, which is 60 in expanded form, and 4 ones. And then I can add these together. I just start by counting how many 10 sticks I have. Well, I know that I have 6 here, and I can count on 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, 10 sticks is 100. I can write that down. And then I add up my ones, and I know I have 4, and 3 more is 7. Now, you could look at that and know that it's 107, but remember, we are trying to understand place value, not get our answer. So I can look at my hundreds place. How many hundreds? Well, there's 100. How many tens? Well, there aren't any. And how many ones? Well, there's none there, but there are 7 here. So 107. Now, if drawing a picture is not the way a student wants to solve this, they can use expanded form to show me their work. So instead, I would say 43 plus 64. Now let me break this apart and add my tens first. In expanded form, my tens would be 40 and 60. And I know that's 100. My ones are 4 and 3. I know that is 7. And so I can add my 100 to my ones and know it's 107. So these are the two ways that your child is showing me their thinking. This then will lead to our next unit when we go to subtraction. And I wanted to prep you for what that is going to look like. Let's see if I can shrink this. Ooh. There we go. Just delete that. All right. Place value is going to be so important in subtracting and in multiplying later. It is giving your child the ability to manipulate numbers in their brain and really being able to check their work and see if what they are, if their answer is reasonable or not. So when we are subtracting, we will be working with a number line. And let's say I was subtracting, we'll just make this number real big for fun. Okay, so I've got to subtract 587 from 764. We'll think back to the math mountain that we did. If I had 10 at the top of my math mountain and 7 as one of my parts, what would your child do? 10 minus 7. Well, they would count up. They would go 8, 9, 10. Oh, the answer is 3. That's how we all do it real quick, right? We just count up 7, 8, 9, 10, oh, 3. We're going to use that same principle, counting up, because it is simple, but with some really big numbers. So here at one end of my number line, I'm going to write 674. At the other end, 587. And I am going to count up. Well, I can look at my ones place and decide it would really help if I turn this into a friendly number. 3 more will get me to a 10, and that's a much more friendly number. So I'm going to hop 3, and that will get me to 590. Now I can look at my tens place. I wish that was a more friendly number as well. 10 more, one more 10 stick would get me to a more friendly number. So I'm going to hop 10, and that gets me to 600, which is a wonderfully friendly number. So I know I can go up 100 in my hundreds place, and that will get me to my next 100. So I'm going to go up 100, and that takes me to 700. Well, now I need to get all the way to 64, and so I can continue with friendly numbers. I'm going to go up 60, and that will take me to 760. And then I will go up 4, and that would take me to 764. And it was so simple. I'm counting up. Then I add up everything at the top. So I can count how many hundreds do I have, just like we did with our 2-digit addition. So far I have 100. And then I can see if I can make any other hundreds. 60 and 70, that's 7 tens, so that's 70. And I have 4 and 3, which is 7. It's funny how I end up with this number. And then I can just look. 100, 7 tens, 7 sevens, 177 is 764 minus 587. I wanted you to see this number line in action because it is wild to think that that is how we were going to subtract by adding. But when you see it in action, it is just beautiful and easy, and really helps kids get a concrete understanding of place value, which is what we're working on. We're not working on solving subtraction problems. We're working on understanding place value. So I hope this was helpful. And if we come across something in the future that I would like you to know about, I'll do this again.